This is why you keep having patterns. You release a belief so it goes away, and you leave a void. But you don't do anything with the void. You leave it as a void. And then that same belief comes back again. It might look different. It might not look exactly like this. It might look like this. But the value of this is the same as this. So you're just creating the same thing over and over and over again. And I would say, this is what I would say for me, the only way to do this is you are aware that you have a self-worth that is valued at $10. You know it's there, you don't like it, and you want a self-worth that is valued at $50. So the only way to me, and this is my beliefs and I'm simply sharing them with you, the only way to get to the $50 is, one, you have to release the $10. Do whatever you have to do whatever you know how to do. If you don't know how to release energy, then find someone that does and follow what they do. Find someone that is doing something that matches what you want to do and copy it. It's the best way to figure out what works for you, is find all the different people that are doing things that you actually want to be doing. So you've got this $10 energy. Release it so it goes away. And this is a thing so many people are forgetting to do. You have a void. You have to replace the void. You cannot leave that void empty. You cannot leave that void empty and expect it to miraculously change. It won't. It is going to stay the same until you actually do something to change the energy of that void. Otherwise, it is absolutely going to stay the same. And one of the things I do is, if I want to change the energy of a void, I'll ask the universe to fill it with love and light. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to actually actively, if I wanted $50, if I wanted the value, the worth to come into alignment with being $50, and I've released the $10, then I'll start focusing on the $50. I'll start focusing on what I imagine that $50 feels like, what I imagine the energy of that $50 is, and I'll start seeing the energy of that $50 filling up this void that I have created. And I will start seeing the void filling up with this energy, and I'll start seeing it filling up with this energy really, really fast. And you know, here's the thing, and I've just heard it, and I didn't even realize it before. I keep thinking I'm not attracting anything to me. I keep thinking that I'm not receiving, or I'm not getting, or I'm not, I'm not making any money. But guess what? I have people that are offering services to me that are worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I haven't been seeing, and I haven't been putting the value on those services that these people have been offering me. And sometimes it's returned from my service, so that, sometimes there's an equal energy exchange, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's simply because they feel inspired to give to me the service, whatever it is that they do. And I have been missing the value of that. I've been missing the fact that that service is, I'm actually vibrating with receiving thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but because it doesn't look like this, I keep thinking I'm not receiving any money. I am. And it comes back to what I said before, and I'm realizing this, all of this as I'm saying it. Why can't we take a receipt? If we receive a service, why can't we put a value on it? And then put it on a piece of paper which looks very much like this. It's simply this is a different color and a different shape, but they still come from the same thing. It is only worth the amount that you want to put onto it. This piece of paper, where it was valued at $10, this same piece of paper could have the same value and the same energy as this $50 if I made the decision to create that value myself. And so this is what you now need to do. You release the $10, you don't have that $10 energy anymore, you have a void, there's a space, you leave it empty, you attract the $10 back to you again, you release it, you leave it empty, you attract the $10 back to you again, you release it. Now here's what I'm doing differently, and here's what I reckon this is what people need to do differently. Release the $10, see the void, and fill it. And fill it with the energy that you want it to be filled with. And imagine what that energy looks like. Imagine the color, the color here, it's what, yellow? I don't know. Spew green? I don't know what you want to call that. Let's call it yellow. Start seeing that yellow. Start seeing a light that matches this color. If your notes are different colors and you want, or if it's got an image, this one has an image of a really ugly woman. Normally they have animals on them, but this one doesn't. So imagine, imagine the image that's on it, and actually see that image filling this space, filling this void that you've created. Or imagine in that void is a little you standing with about 1,000 of these all lined up in a row, holding your hand out, and they're really, really heavy. Whatever you have to do, it doesn't matter what you do. It's the energy, it's the value that you put in it. If you see yourself holding 1,000 of these, and you see that image in that void, that's the energy that you're going to create. It is all about the value that you put on the image that you're putting in that void. It is not about what society says. It's not, this, it says $50, but do you know how many times the value of this changes based on how much the dollar goes up and down and up and down? This $50 isn't worth anything, really. It is only worth the value, the perceived value that we put on it. So start filling the voids that you're creating with the perceived value of what you want to be in that space. And for me, this is the biggest, greatest, most massive awareness that I've had in this moment is recognizing all these services I've been receiving for free. They're not free. They all have a value, and I have already paid. I have already given the value. I've already matched the value of that service. It may have been in a different way. It may have been in a completely different way at a completely different time, but I am attracting this value because I've given that value of service. And that's all it is. This $20 could essentially have the same equal value as this $50 if I want it to. It can be whatever you want the value to be. And this is that for me is pretty much it. I think that's my video for today, is realizing that we have to release the energy, we have to replace the energy, and we have to replace it with the value of the energy that we want to be in that void.